Okay, so the top 4 of this comes out now. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do with this, because a couple days ago we all assumed it would be very, very easy for them. Like, the last ranking set it up perfectly, that we'd have the 4 teams. Like, if they win this weekend, the 4 teams are set. However, the past 2 days made things very interesting, because you had USC losing to Utah, you had TCU losing, Georgia and Michigan both won, but they were probably in anyway. What the drama is now, Ohio State or Alabama, will they get in? Now, there's the whole argument, should these teams be punished for, playing in their conference championships and making it that far? And should, like, an Ohio State be rewarded because they didn't have to play in the Big Ten championship? But there's also the argument that they had a chance to step up and they failed. So, whatever side you fall on, we're about to find out what these guys think. Now, my prediction for this, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and TCU. I think TCU stays in because they were 12-0. They were in a Power 5 conference, and they lost by 3 in overtime to a top 10 team. I don't think Alabama, who has 2 losses, is able to jump that, but I don't know. I don't know anything, really. This is going to be very interesting, because there's also, where do you put Ohio State too, I guess? 3 or 4? TCU honestly has an argument to stay at 3, to be honest with you. Is there anyone else that could get in? Tennessee, I don't think so, because they were ranked behind Alabama. Who was 8? Penn State, no way. They didn't have a good win. Clemson.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Kansas State was 10, so honestly they should jump up a couple spots, but Alabama, I think, is like the last possible team that could get in. Obviously with those teams like below number 4, they didn't change much at all because they didn't play this weekend. Let's reward them for it. I don't know how long it takes to actually start the rankings. This is upside down and diagonal, but it's 12:04. So the show started at 12. I don't know how long it takes to get the rankings out, but I will, I guess, sit here until they do. Alright, we're about to do this. God bless us all. Please don't get this wrong. So they're doing it right now. I assume they're doing 1 first. Okay, that is correct. They got number 1 correct. We are 1 for 4 on predictions. It is Georgia. I don't know. I didn't say that. There's no reason they should have fallen. Michigan had an argument maybe that they were better because of that better win against Ohio State. But I don't know. They didn't deserve to move down. That's correct. Number 2 is Michigan, right? Number 2 is Alabama. Yeah, it was Michigan. So this is where it gets interesting. 3 and 4. My prediction was Ohio State at 3. But TCU at 3 makes a lot of sense after listening to their 15-minute pregame show. Pregame show? Game? I said game. So it's 12:21 now. So it was like, how did I do that? 12:21. I think because they said 1 loss, 3 points, in a game that they chose to go to. It wasn't even a regular season game. They shouldn't be punished for that, with what they said. And I agree with that. That's fair.
At the 3rd ranked team.
Okay. Number 3 is TCU. I think that's correct. I think that's right. I think that's right, I said, after not predicting that. But no, that's like, that makes sense because they lost by 3, 1 game. It makes sense. That makes sense. Dude, Max Duggan, their quarterback, he looked so gassed after yesterday's game. It'd be heartbreaking if they didn't make it. Okay, so I assume that means Ohio State's at 4, right?
Ohio State, been playing the conference championship game, they have the blowout loss. Alabama's got the closer losses. Maybe we're back to a 2017 thing, and while we spent last night...
He just said he thinks Alabama's going to get hit over Ohio State.
Maybe it's Ohio State or Alabama.
That'd be interesting.
Number 4.
But I feel like they would have ranked Alabama higher last week if that was going to happen. Yeah, it's Ohio State.
There it is. No drama.
So the Buckeyes are...
That's what I thought. It didn't make sense because they would have done that. Those 2 teams didn't play this week. So Alabama's not in.
Thirst to do.
They're at 5, I assume, and maybe USC is at 6, or is USC at 5? USC honestly probably should be at 5. That'll be a fun game though. Georgia, Ohio State. That'll be interesting. I don't know why I'm still sitting here, but I want to see who 5 and 6 are. Yeah, first team out right here. Okay. It's Bama. Yeah. I don't honestly agree with that. I think USC had better resume.
Tennessee is 6, but a different team now.
They put Tennessee ahead of USC. What? I don't think that's right. They've got punished that much. They got punished that much for playing in their conference championship. I guess it was a beatdown, but that seems really harsh. That's interesting. That's really interesting. So then if you think about it, if they didn't lose by that much to South Carolina, they might be in right now. Anyway, that's interesting how that worked out. Those should be interesting games. Yeah. That's really all I got here. Georgia, Ohio State should be an interesting matchup. Michigan, TCU, I don't know what I expect from that, because Michigan looked very good against Ohio State, but we haven't seen them really play that well out of conference yet. TCU, I guess the same thing. We don't really know what they look like against the top of the best competition. So that'll be an interesting game. Yeah, these are both going to be interesting. And I don't believe how far USC fell for one loss in the conference championship.